to this afternoon. I'll be swift, so hopefully won't detain you for too long. Just a few words about what's been said. It's good to hear from Mike. There are real regeneration projects of scale going on in Scotland, and we both featured along with Dundee in the Regeneration and Renewal Survey as two of the most active regeneration projects in the UK, and I think that's a testament to the public-private mix that we've got here, where the private sector is still active, but so is the public sector in a way that's not necessarily happening south of the border. The games, I'm going to say a few words about the games. You wouldn't expect me to miss that, but that statistic, 3/4 of the people of the East End of Glasgow who are surveyed are positive about the games. So that's 3/4 of the people positive about something that's happening in their area. Now that's a precious asset, because if you look at the history of that area and you look at attitudes and what's been going on, then people were quite entitled to be not positive about anything. So that's something we need to grasp. It is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and that's something that I want to see through in the regeneration of our area. And John, I'm going to stretch my talk, and it's going to come back to the average salary, price, wage in the oil and gas industry. I promise you. Okay, so I'm going to fix that into my presentation. I'm unashamedly, we call it community benefits, so I'll say community benefits when I'm talking about social benefits. I'm unashamedly on the side of infrastructure. You need to invest in infrastructure in order to secure regeneration and jobs and better lives for people in deprived areas. So I'll be a bit of an enthusiast for the big projects and the big money, but I hope you'll see at the end of what I'm talking about that you can twist, you can cajole, and you can threaten legal action to make sure that there is a direct and measurable community benefit from these projects. Now let's start pretty big. There's not been many more bigger infrastructure projects in Scotland than the M74 extension, and I'm quite clear that without that extension it's even a little bit more important in the games to the East End of Glasgow to regeneration, because that's the major piece of kit that really has literally opened up the East End for investment, and investment means jobs. And when I go to community groups and meetings in the evening, people say, where's the jobs? So we have to make this connection between infrastructure and opportunities for local people. So this is about, well, what have we said there? Aye, half a billion pounds worth of infrastructure coming into the area. Yes, there were community benefits in that scheme. Local people got apprenticeships and jobs, but there were best endeavours, and we learnt a lot from making sure that we move on from best endeavours to making sure that there are penalties and real a vice-like grip on the private sector organisations who are winning these contracts from us. Now, some of you might be thinking, look, this is a one-off. You don't build a motorway like this every day. You don't have the Commonwealth Games every day, and that's fair enough. My enthusiasm for infrastructure is because the area needed it and was never going to change without this infrastructure investment. And you may well feel that's not appropriate to your area or to your jobs, but the way that we've taken that infrastructure investment and made something of it, I hope you will take away as something useful to you. Now, Francesca mentioned the Games Village and the arena, so you can see the arena up the top left-hand side. You can see the Games Village along the river, and you can see us mucking about on the other side of the river there on where we call the Cunningham Loop, which will be a forest park that Clyde Gateway is developing. Now these projects were Glasgow City Council led, the arena and the village. That's the sort of scale you need if you're getting involved in an area and you're trying to change and operate against forces which have been working for 50, 60, 70 years. We get the maps out all the time to see what was on the site that we're digging out. And when we find the old dye pits and the old asbestos and all that, then it's a direct relationship. That's what was going on 60 years ago. And when they put the lights out, they demolished it and left everything. And nobody's been back since. Gear has been back since, and some of you will know about that in the 70s, 80s, but it wasn't enough. So this is the sort of infrastructure investment you need to get a place going. And I'll just tell you a little story about the arena, because clearly you heard from Francesca about the jobs and the apprenticeships in the arena, but what we've done and what we're very proud of is that out of the 40 new jobs in the arena in sports assistants and sports types of jobs, which are permanent jobs in a growth sector of the industry, we've got 20 young local Clyde Gateway people into these jobs. There was no job guarantees, they weren't handed it on a plate, but what Clyde Gateway did was fund that necessary training and support and hand-holding, yes, that's necessary to get people from the difficult circumstances they're in and get them equipped to win these jobs. And I tell you now that I would have had lucky to have one in there if we hadn't made that special effort. So what we do relentlessly at Clyde Gateway is we look at every opportunity. We see how can we make this work for local people, and if there's a gap because we have to fund it or something else like that, then we go in and do it. And we're very proud of the 20 young local people who are working in there. And one young woman can see her bedroom window from her reception desk when she's at work. So that's the sort of connection that we need. This is Clyde Gateway's first office development on London Road. This brought 400 jobs into the area. Okay, you say, what's so clever about bringing 400 jobs in? Well, firstly, they're not new jobs, they're existing jobs. But firstly, it proves the area. It proves that major employers can come to Clyde Gateway, can get a good deal, and can actually get a better place for their workforce. But clearly, the building of this project touched on the lives of 75 local people. Now, the majority of those were work experience and training, but 15 people got jobs, either jobs or apprenticeships, when this building was on site. And this building was funded entirely by the private sector. So £10 million worth of Aviva's money came into Clyde Gateway because we took the risk out of it for them, and we secured direct jobs on the build of that office. We didn't stop there. The company inside it is actually Glasgow Community Safety Services, and we've just done a deal with them whereby 30 local people, and the first 20 are in jobs already, will be moving into security industry jobs. So that's backup, that's wardens, it's other sorts of jobs in the security industry. And of course, you'll have spotted there's a great relationship there with the Commonwealth Games, so there'll be direct linkage to the Commonwealth Games, and it's a growth sector in the economy. So an office block proves the area, gets jobs in construction, and we will work with the occupiers to make sure that their growth or their recruitment practices now embrace local people. So we're proving Clyde Gateway is a destination for office work. We're also proving it for industrial and commercial work, and this is Clyde Gateway East. And of course, if any of you wanted proof of the value of infrastructure investment, then you see the M74 completion there, and you see a piece of land beside it that looks like a scoosh. What's so difficult about developing that piece of land? Well, it was vacant, folks, for 70 years. So the infrastructure and the efforts of Clyde Gateway to make that happen, it's unarguable that that's the sort of investment and that's the sort of push you need to get things moving on. And I'll say a few words about one of the companies in there in a moment. But again, that's the scale. When this site is full, that will be 10% of our jobs target and 10% of our commercial space. So what we're trying to achieve in the East End of Glasgow and in Rutherglen and Shawfield is quite immense. And again, the scale is important. This building is a direct link. It's now on site, and it's a direct link between the Chancellor standing up in the pre-budget report in November and something happening in the heart of Dalmarnock. He announced then an infrastructure investment into the economy. The Scottish Government took that money and announced shovel-ready money, and that allowed us to get on and build this building, which was shovel-ready. This will directly link to 29 local jobs, sorry, 27, get it right. We're hoping to get 29. Under promise and over deliver, that's it, isn't it? 27 local jobs, and the first 3 are just about to start, and I'm very delighted to say that the first company who won the first subcontract on this site are a local company. So the groundworks contract has gone to a local company, and the first 3 jobs will be with the groundworks contractor, and that will be 3 local jobs. And just to emphasise, they have to do this as part of the contract. There's no way out. You have to make sure your subcontracts are advertised to local businesses, but you have to fulfil the community benefit clauses in each of our contracts. So we will lever in direct jobs for local people on the back of this. So you have to operate at scale, but I know and accept this is about regeneration, not just about economic development and infrastructure. So just to bring it down a scale, just to say that we are firmly on the ground in terms of what you might expect in a regeneration project. We've got business units, which are at the bottom left of the picture there. We've got an iconic local building, the Olympia, which has got the local library moved into it now, and Build It and They Will Come, because the previous library to this library has seen a 300% increase in book issues, 300% increase in the number of people using the PCs. So lots of great things happening by revitalising the physical environment of the area. And of course, it is all about people. That connection is about regeneration, it's about infrastructure. And why do you do it? There's no point investing in infrastructure if it doesn't make people want to come and live in your area, come and invest, bring their businesses there and come and work in the area. So it's about these people you see in front of you. And my rather contrived ending is about the 6 local people to the left-hand side. They all work in a company called Glacier Energy, who moved into the Clyde Gateway East Business Park that I showed you, which was built because of the M74. These are 6 young people from Clyde Gateway who have secured apprenticeships and jobs with that company over the last few weeks. So they all found locally, all got proper, permanent, real jobs, and I'm told that if they stick to that job, then they will be earning circa £60,000 each in the next few years. So we are exploiting the growth sectors of the economy, and we're trying to bring them into the heart of our area. So thank you very much for listening. I hope that gives you a very quick view of what we're trying to achieve, and I hope you can see that community benefits are a key part of this regeneration story. Thank you.